If you've ever wondered about what the best way to do marketing was, or how to create a social media marketing campaign that actually works, or how to take all of this crazy marketing stuff and apply it to your unique business so you can actually grow your business, then stick with me. Because in this episode, I'm going to be pulling back the curtains and showing you exactly how you need to be thinking about marketing and social media today in order to grow your business, generate more leads and customers, and make more sales. So let's get to it. Hey there, my name is Adam Earhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to the channel, the #1 place to learn proven marketing strategies. So if you're new here, you may want to consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a future episode. The biggest problem with marketing today is that it's overwhelming. After all, these are just a few questions that I get every single day. What's the best way to do marketing? What are the most effective social media marketing strategies right now? How do I apply all this to my business? Well, my friend, let's answer those now by going over some of the most important and, unsurprisingly, most profitable things you need to be thinking about when it comes to your marketing and your social media. A lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people in general, well, they like to say that they provide unbelievably exceptional, top-of-the-line, best-in-class customer service. And yet, few people actually back this up. Now, I'm not saying that they're not trying, and I'm not saying that they're not really putting their best effort forward, and I'm not saying that they're not prioritizing it. I'm just saying that the results coming out of it really aren't matching the effort that's going in. So something's off here. You see, there was a study done years ago by Bain & Company that asked businesses and consumers about the level of customer service that they thought they were giving and experiencing. Well, it turns out that 80% of CEOs believed that their brand and their business was providing a superior customer experience. Well, if this was the case, then you would think that 80% of their customers would agree, and yet, this wasn't the number, like not even close. Can you guess what it was? Well, it turns out that only 8% of their customers agreed, which means that 80% of CEOs thought they were delivering exceptional customer service, and only 8% of their customers felt they were actually getting this so-called exceptional customer service. That is a huge mismatch, and it leads you to wonder, what else are businesses getting wrong here? So here's how to fix it. Being a customer-centric or customer-focused business is pretty much the only way to succeed now, and it's more important now than it's ever been before. And this all begins by first really understanding your customers, your ideal customers, that perfect target market that you want to serve, and what they're all about. Now, in the world of marketing, we call this an ideal customer avatar, or an ICA, which is essentially a fictional representation of your best customers, sort of the underlying characteristics and similarities that exist across all of your best customers. For example, if you take a look at your business and the entire market that you serve, well, what are the commonalities between the top 20% of your customers? Are there similarities in age, or gender, or income, or occupation? Do they live in the same city, or state, or country? Do they have similar values, or attitudes, or lifestyles? This is important because it's going to allow you to speak their language, and the more that you're able to speak their language, the more that you're going to be able to make them feel understood. And people don't buy when they understand what you do, they buy when they feel understood by you. Another important aspect here about really being a customer-centric business is understanding that kind of the wining and dining process, the dating phase, if you will, of engaging a customer and turning that prospect or that lead into a paying client, well, it begins long before money has ever changed hands. This is why content marketing is such a powerful marketing strategy to be using in your business, because it allows you to essentially provide value before that exchange of money has taken place, and it also allows you to demonstrate expertise and authority and really help someone. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Another thing that's really important to understand when it comes to being a customer-centric business is really diving deep into the pains and the problems and the frustrations of your ideal target market. What are the pains and the problems that they're currently going through? And most importantly, how is your business positioned to help solve those pains and problems? You see, your business exists simply as a gap to help them cross the bridge from where they're at right now, which could be a painful or problematic state they're trying to get out of, to some ideal outcome or end state that they really want to get to. All right, the final point I want to make on being a customer-centric business is understanding that humans, you and I, people in general, well, they're emotional creatures, which means that they tend to make purchase decisions emotionally first and then back them up rationally and logically after. Not the other way around. This is why it's incredibly important to have features and statistics and case studies and logical arguments, but only after the story has been told, or that beneficial end state, that essentially the place they're trying to get to, well, after that's been revealed. Long story short, start with emotion, back it up with facts, and you really can't go too wrong. But speaking of facts, let's talk about the next thing that you really need to be thinking about when it comes to marketing and social media, and that is market research. Now, market research is easily one of the least sexy and possibly one of the most boring aspects of marketing. That is, until you realize just how profitable it can be to your business. Then it starts to get fun. So with that said, here are a few sources that I recommend you check out anytime that you want to launch a new product or a new service or a new offer, or really just refine your market and your business and what it is and how you help people. The first place is Google Trends. Google Trends is completely free and it allows you to see essentially how a subject is trending, whether it's up or whether it's down or whether it's flat or whether it's seasonal, and it's going to go through peaks and valleys through different times of the year. Google Trends is an amazing place to start, especially if you're thinking about going into a new industry or starting in a new market. Simply go to Google Trends, type in the keyword or the industry or the market you're going into, and then take a look. Are things going up? Or are they going down? If they're going up, this is a good sign. And if they're going down, unsurprisingly, you may want to think twice or do a little more due diligence. So let's move on to the next place to get a little bit of market research, which is Facebook. Now, when I'm talking about doing market research with Facebook, I'm not talking about asking your friends and family and essentially just putting out to random strangers their thoughts on your business, because odds are good they don't know very much about your business. There's a great expression here that often the most expensive advice is free advice, because free advice tends to come cheap and quick and often be wrong. So rather, what you're better off doing is using Facebook for a little bit of competitive research, looking into your competitors, seeing what kind of content they're posting, as well as looking at what kind of ads they're running on their pages. You see, Facebook has an amazing feature just by going to one of your competitors' Facebook pages, scrolling down to page transparency, and you can see if they're running ads or if they're not, and if they are, you can take a look at them. Now, it's important to note here that not everybody running ads is going to know what they're doing, so you could be looking at ads that just aren't very good, but at least it helps to point you in the right direction, give you a little bit of data of what others are doing. All right, the next place to do market research is none other than YouTube. YouTube is a phenomenal place because it allows you to not only see what topics are trending in that, but it also allows you to identify other influencers or gurus or thought leaders in your space, and then you can go to their content and see what's performing and what kind of content they're making right now. Another good resource is Reddit, which allows you to essentially kind of look through the forums and look through posts and either engage in the conversations or simply observe and see what others are talking about. If you've never used Reddit before, definitely start by learning the culture first before diving in, but it can be a real goldmine here for market research. All right, and then lastly is perhaps my favorite market research tool of all, which is none other than Amazon. Amazon is great because it allows you to see what kind of products and what kind of books and what kind of essentially everything is selling right now. Although I'd start with the books, that's really the best place. When it comes to books, you're able to sort by bestsellers and you can check out their ratings and you can read the reviews from 1 stars to 5 stars to see what's resonating and what's hitting or missing the mark. All right, let's move on to the next thing you really need to be thinking about when it comes to your marketing and your social media right now, which is content marketing. The key here with content marketing is actually pretty simple, and the takeaway point that I really want you to get here is that you need to be making a lot more content. Now, fortunately, when it comes to content, there's a ton of different things you can choose from. You can make videos, you can make audio like podcasts, you can make text or graphics or infographics or pictures, or really the options are kind of endless. You need to start thinking of your business, of your personal brand, as more of a media house or a content creation agency, because that's where the direction and that's where the future of marketing is really heading, if we're not there already. And I think we're there already. Now, the good news here is you really don't need to get too fancy, which means you don't need Hollywood level productions for your videos. You don't need professionally designed graphics and photos. In fact, pretty much everything you need can be fit into the palm of your hand or in your pocket, which is none other than your cell phone. You see, this little guy right here has all the computing power that you need, not to mention an amazing camera and access to all of the social media sites. So really, a lack of technology or a lack of understanding of technology is no excuse here. So the first question that you need to ask when it comes to content marketing is, what kind of content does your ideal target market, that ideal customer avatar, want you to create? Is it more text? Is it more audio? Or is it more video? Spoiler alert, it's more video. Next, what kind of content are you able to create, or do you enjoy creating? For example, some people love writing, so they're naturally going to gravitate towards writing blog posts or short-form social media posts. Others, on the other hand, love talking, and so they're going to go to more of an audio-based format, like a podcast. The real win, however, like I kind of hinted at before, is video. So if you're able to overcome the barrier, the fear, and that sort of initial discomfort of being on camera, video is the clear winner here. Here's the deal. Pretty much every single social media network available right now, whether we're talking about Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, obviously YouTube, well, all of them are prioritizing video. The reason they're doing this is because your consumers, your customers, your clients, your audience, they all want more video. And they're consuming a lot of it. The social media platforms and the algorithms behind those, well, they know this, and their job is to give the people what they want. So if the people want more video, well then the social media platforms are going to do their best to help promote your content if it's video, and really help to expand the reach and get it in front of more of your prospective customers. The beauty with video though is that, again, you don't need to have those Hollywood level productions, and you can start small, just to kind of dip your toes in the water and get started with a little bit easier. For example, you could start really small with just a 15-second Instagram story. You could work your way up to a 3-minute Facebook video or a 5-minute YouTube video. Or you could just dive right in and start going live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and making YouTube videos and Instagram stories. And while clearly that is the path that I would eventually want to lead you on, you don't have to start there, and you can get there eventually. All right, the next point that I want to make here kind of flies in the face of a lot of the advice that's being offered right now, which is that you need to be everywhere and you need to do everything. And you don't. More importantly, you shouldn't. My advice here, after nearly a decade of marketing and working with hundreds, if not thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs, is that you can't be everywhere and you can't do everything, nor should you. Rather, you should be specific, and you should go only where your ideal target market, that ideal customer avatar, is present and active, and ignore everything else. You see, not only is being everywhere and doing everything completely exhausting and a total drain on your wallet and your energy, well, it's also kind of useless because your ideal market, they're not everywhere. Rather, they're concentrated on just 1 or 2 or maybe 3 specific platforms. So you should start there. The key, of course, is identifying which platforms are unique and are specific to your market. And that's going to take a little bit of market research and a little bit of due diligence into your customers, into your clients, and into their online content consumption habits. Regardless, once you've done this and once you've identified the primary platform where your market is present and active on, well, my advice is to go there and to focus explicitly on that for at least 90 days to really dive in, create content, learn the culture, and master this platform before moving on to a secondary or supplementary platform. You see, when you do this, you're able to focus and really get great results on one single platform, rather than spreading yourself way too thin and doing a terrible job on a whole bunch of different platforms. Of all the things that I've talked about here today though, perhaps the single most important thing for you to think about when it comes to your marketing and your social media is to really double down and focus on those proven marketing fundamentals and marketing principles that have stood the test of time. You see, too often people focus on the tactics rather than the underlying strategies, and it's the strategies that at the end of the day are really going to drive your business forward and help you grow and generate more revenue. And this is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. Marketing is a major business function that's made up of a bunch of other parts, one of which, of course, is advertising. But there's also a ton others like PR, market research. And I just realized I think I'm wearing pink in both of those episodes, showing off my softer side.